Well, I sat here for about a half hour since in between this clip and the last clip, listening to the radio, programmed it. It's very sensitive. Put in a bunch of other frequencies, and it stopped, and a lot of traffic happening, and it was so cool. So I decided, let's go ahead and power down and let's start ripping and tearing. And I removed this board here up top. I don't know what this board is, but we do have a tunable coil here and a custom IC chip there, 2 electrolytics, a tantalum, and 2 of these, what are these, polyester film capacitors, and a couple of ceramics, and some resistors, and a couple of transistors. I haven't even checked those out. But I flipped the board over, and hopefully you could see right there. We're going to bump you in just the same, but this is a wide shot. We've got some ickiness happening here at this capacitor and at this lead, so I don't know if off-gassing happened over here. The board is white. I see a lot of white happening underneath the solder mask, the conformal coating, but I don't know if that's PCB board or part of off-gassing. You also look here at the grounding spots, and those are all kind of icky. And so here's a little tighter shot. You can see how icky that is. So, could this be the source for the buzz that we're having in the carrier? We'll find out. And we'll see what happens. I may put this back together after cleaning this and replacing and then sampling. But the board on the bottom side, we're also going to replace all the electrolytics. I know there's a great debate amongst technicians. Do you go through and just shotgun, or do you troubleshoot, or do you just replace just because? You know, that's a debate that's subjectable, and I'm not going to get into that discussion with you. My personal feelings on the topic is it really depends on the project. If there's not that many electrolytics such as this, then I'm just going to go ahead and replace them all just for preventative measures for stupid dumb reasons like this right here. I'm not going to go next 40 years and take a chance that its capacitor is not going to ralph and tear up more than just your pride because you don't want to replace the dumb cap. Now, if I'm in a project and it has 8 million capacitors, that's another story. Then I'm probably not going to. If I'm going to keep the device and I'm going to use it, then I might question it. Or I just might replace little here, a little there as I go. You know, it's really subjective. So whatever works for you, fantastic. I'm not going to fight you over it. I really don't care. But for me, this is my approach. And this is why I do it. Wow. Work on that little board. You see there's not much there, but man, that has taken me several hours. Of course, that was not replacing the 2 electrolytics in there. It was doing a lot of repair on the trace where all the corrosion was and everything. Those 2 capacitors I pulled out of there Let me readjust my light because I just got done and had supper and, like I said, a couple hours. So we are going to try to illuminate as much glare as possible. Not illuminate, but eliminate. There. Looks good to you? Looks good to me. Alright, so we're off there. Can't wait for this project to be over for a couple reasons. One, I'm ready to move on to the next project. I hate working on things that takes forever and a day to complete. I just want to get in, get done, get gone, and move on. A day. That's about all I'm good for, is a day. Alright, so we got our negative, our positive. Now, one thing I noticed messing around with this before I actually tore that apart and started working on it was what? Oh, I did program in some memories and I unplugged it thinking I would lose memories immediately because I have no 9-volt battery backup in here. And it did maintain it. Now, how long that's going to happen, I don't know. But it did. For at least a minute. So, that's kind of groovy. So, I've got that board all taken care of. So, I'm hoping that maybe that's where the buzz came in underneath the carrier or the audio. And we're now cleaned up. I made sure that all the grounding points were clean, both on the board and on the chassis. And scrub down the board really good. Alright, let's go ahead and plug this into power. We are off. Oops. My cabling keeps falling out of the hole. I'm going to have to fix that. Alright, so we are now plugged in. I have no aerial plugged in. I have no external speaker plugged in. Gosh, I cannot wait until I can get this cleaned up. What did I do with the antenna? It's here on the workbench somewhere. If you see it, hoop and holler. I guess maybe that's... Alright, so... What did I do with the other part? Found it. Alright. I hate a messy workbench, but in the process of wrenching, you clutter up and it does become messy. Nothing you could really do about that. I guess don't work on projects. Alright. So aerial, we're going to go with the onboard speaker, and let's go ahead and turn this little dude on. Hey, it came back. How exciting. The internal speaker still sounds icky. Did it save any of my programming? No, it did not. So let's go ahead and, since that speaker sounds icky, let's plug in my external speaker. Alright, so we got our sizzling, our bacon frying. Let's go ahead and program in a frequency. Let's see if I remember. I should just simply 119.5, enter channel 1. Alright, so we should be good to go. If we hear airplane talking, that's going to be good, because that's where they were earlier. But, just in case, I still have the signal generator fired up, fired on. Turned on. It's been going all day. Let's go ahead and turn this guy up. turn the audio on. And we'll put this at, let's just do 20% modulation. And we'll keep turning up the power. I'm not getting a signal. Well, that sucks. Let me try another frequency. No. All right. Let's go ahead and bypass the antenna. I sit here and all depressed now, I'm bummed out. I hate when I do that. Oops. Okay, I'm hearing the signal now, and I don't even got it connected just yet. Okay, so it is going through, but it is very, very weak. So that means I wired something up incorrectly, and I'm going to have to take that all back apart. I'm thinking I might have wired that up wrong. Let me grab my phone here for reference photos. Nope. So I was thinking it was this cable here that I wired in wrong, but that's correct. Junk. Alright, so what I'm going to do is let's just confirm that the signal generator is not messing up. And that it is producing a signal where it's supposed to. I still don't have this repaired. Haven't found anybody. I've contacted a few people. Big timers on the YouTubes who have the skill, the ability, the technology to do so, and can't find anybody who wants to take the project on. So if you know anybody who wants to take the project on, who has the skill, the ability, let me know. I would really like to get that repaired. Anyway, we could see by the RAT 3000 frequency counter that we definitely are at our programmed frequency. The other frequency we were at. So it is working. I've had this thing on all day. At this point, it's probably been on about 12 hours. If I put the two caps in wrong, they would have blown up by now, I would like to think. I don't think I did. The big one, negative, is toward the front, and we can see that with the white stripe right there since I moved my finger out of the way. And the other one, negative towards me, or towards over here, and it is. Okay, so the only other thing I could think is wire placement. I do have one wire, a white wire on the back that I thought I anchored in the right spot. Unfortunately, my reference photo for that, I only took one reference photo and I'm not too sure if I got it right. So there's my reference photo, and I'm not sure if that wire right there is where I mean, in the photo it looks like it's anchored, not unsoldered. And I did put it to that spot. My next photo, unfortunately, is unsoldered. So, and I unfortunately don't have any other photos of that side of the board. I generally take a lot of photos, but this time I did not. I'm going to break those screws free. Maybe I'm grounding out something. I mean, should have plenty enough clearance. And we still have the antenna plugged in. And we still have 1 volt peak to peak slammed in there, about 0 dB, so not exactly 1 volt, but you know what it is. Oh, yes, I lied. It is 1 volt, and it's a plus 10 dB. Let me put the thing back where, oops. Let's see, 121.5, make it hertz. All right, so now we're on frequency. Oh, stupid doofus. There. I'm sure you've had those moments where you forget what you're doing or what you've been doing. I do often. So I want to see if I'm grounding out somewhere or something. If we are, then that thing will get really loud when we break it free, or it will not. Pretty scientific here. Okay, don't touch that to ground. Apparently that's hot. Did not see this screw back here. Okay. So I need to unsolder that gray wire, but in order for it to go, and my soldering iron is not turned on. Alrighty, so dagnabbit, I hate when I fix things really good. I went through and I also reflowed solder, so I'll go back and make sure I don't have any cold solder joints or bridges or anything like that. Definitely sounds like there is something loose. Probably should have changed that tantalum out too, just for the heck of it. I might do that, since I got tore apart again. So it seems like it's right here in this filter. I'm not sure if that's a, well, I think that might be a 10.7 filter. Because when I wiggle that, you could hear it. It does make noise. Listen to this. Yeah. Something was clicking. There we go. Hear that? Okay, so something's going on in that, and I believe it's the 10.7. It's probably not soldered in very well. Let me turn on my soldering iron, and we'll make. Let me go ahead and pause here for just a moment. I'll fire up the soldering iron. We'll break this free. We'll flip this over, and we'll take a quick peek. All right, so I've got it. Got the wire broke free, and able to inspect this just a little bit better. And what's happening is the coating on this is sticky, and it's sticking to the can right there. So, not sure what's happening with that and why is it sticky. So I think this is where I'm going to break for the night. It's been a long day. Tomorrow is a new day. I will go through this, inspect, and make sure everything is good. That's my wire I'm questioning, my anchor point. I believe that's correct, but not sure. Oh, wait a minute. Do I have a cold solder joint right here? Okay. What's on the other side of that? Okay, so that's in front of the capacitor. Oh, okay. There is a nothing in front of that, right? Yeah, there's nothing there. So however, I might have a bridge right there. Not sure if that line all goes together. Anyway, I've turned off my soldering iron for the night. I'll come back and I'll double check all of this, make sure everything is good. And that's all we could do. I don't know what these wires go to, I mean what they're for. The gray wire and the black wire, and the white wire is going down below deck, and that is where the CPU is. How's that? All the programming chips is at. Let's do one thing before we call it a night. Let's turn it on with this unplugged, and we're not shorting out. Same thing. So, alrighty, we'll pick this up again tomorrow, or next opportunity I have time. How's that?